Hi everyone, and welcome back to V-Gear's workshop. Do you guys remember this wooden clock I made 3 years ago? Since it's made of wood and I live here in Vietnam where the climate is incredibly hot and humid, scorching during the dry season and super damp when the rains come, the wood is constantly expanding and contracting. Because of that, I find myself having to recalibrate it all the time just to keep it running smoothly. So I'm considering using a 3D printer to build a new clock out of plastic, which should make it a lot more stable. All right, let's get started. Here is the 3D model I found on printables.com. I'll leave a link to it in the description below. But before we go ahead and print all the parts, it's crucial to print the tolerance test pieces first. I'll zoom in on the top right corner of the screen so you can get a better look. As you probably know, different 3D printers and filament types can yield very different results. Since this entire clock is 3D printed, the gears and shafts need to fit together perfectly. If they are too tight or too loose, the clock will lose time, or it might not run at all. For my specific setup, the test results show that I need to use the standard shaft, a fit tolerance of level 1, and a rotational tolerance of level 2. Material choice and infill density are also incredibly important here. The main frame has to support a heavy drive weight, so it needs to be really sturdy. I did a quick test using standard PLA with a 20% infill, and as you can see, it snaps way too easily. I highly recommend using a stronger engineering filament like PETG with a much higher infill percentage. All right, now let's get to the fun part, the assembly. Since the 3D printer behind me is still running, it might create some unwanted background noise. So let's just put on some relaxing piano music and jump right into the assembly. After marking and drilling holes in the wall, I proceed to secure it with screws. You could use glue, but since the driving weight can be quite heavy, especially if we expand the gear train later so the clock can run longer, I highly recommend screwing it in firmly. This is crucial, especially for the anchor point of the weight. Once the weight is attached and the string is wound, you might need to give the pendulum a gentle push so it can start itself. And wow, it is running. I'm going to let it run and check back on it the next day. Now, I will show you how to adjust the time without interrupting the clock's operation. After releasing the knob at the minute gear, you pull it out about 5 centimeters and start turning. As you can see, the hour hand starts moving along with it. I've left it running for a test, and it looks like it is running a bit slower than real time. Let's begin the testing process. Right now, it takes exactly 1 minute and 3.35 seconds for the clock to complete one full revolution. It really should only take exactly 60 seconds. To fix this, I will adjust the bearing nut on the pendulum. By turning it, you change the effective length of the pendulum. This alters its swing frequency, which helps the clock run faster or slower. Let's test it again. It seems okay for now, but it is not absolutely perfect just yet. I will do some more testing and give you an update in another video. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. See you next time.